We live in an incredibly segregated city.
Detroit is predominantly black. It can be very divided.
You have the black people here, you have the white people here, you have Polish people here, the Hispanic people here.
Almost every neighborhood is, 90% black or more.
There's a high poverty level here.
We've had 10 foreclosures just on our block in the last year. People have a lot of good reasons that they shouldn't trust a white guy coming into their neighborhood. When we knew we were coming to Detroit, we realized if we want to be raising up leaders for Detroit, we need to move to a neighborhood that looks like most of Detroit.
I remember the first day when we drove up. We're driving up to this house that's all boarded up. First, it smelled disgusting.
It was dark, it was damp, it was plaster falling off the walls.
Every day we're looking at paintbrushes and scrubbing floors, and it was just like, what are we doing? This isn't about people. To then go from that night, of the first night being in our house, to now, where it's like every room is filled, every room is in use, that's God.
In a sense, the idea of community was always there with us. Living out, following Jesus together. Over the years, we've had, I think, 13 different people live with us. And so at some point, we realized it needed to keep expanding. God really laid it on our hearts to buy these. And it was about 2 years ago we bought these.
Very first time that he told me, what if we bought the houses next door? And then our neighbors could stay.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't even remember that.
Oh my goodness. And I was just like, you're crazy, People were coming in and out of these houses. People were squatting in them, dealers.
This one's next on the list probably for getting fixed up. As I work, I pray about the family that will end up being here.
Just to have this little corner right here means a lot to me, because where I was raised, it was like every man for themselves. But when I go over Matthew and Bev's house, we feel at home. That's why it probably means a lot to me, because it feels like the family that I yearn for a lot.
There were a lot of times where I felt like this was not worth it, because living in this community, it was me making the decision to invite these people into my junk.
We had a conversation about how us living together is like a mini marriage.
Like you said, iron sharpens iron. And I have a friend that always says, when that happens, sparks fly.
I feel like one of the reasons why I'm still here is that it's still uncomfortable for me. I'm still being stretched, and God is still refining me and bringing things to the surface that I just didn't know was there.
I've recognized just how self-centered I am in doing ministry over the years, where I think I can really fully mentor or pour into somebody by myself. But if we have a community doing it together, we end up giving a fuller picture of what the gospel is, a fuller picture of Jesus, because when they see us, that's the picture of God on earth.
The world is going to know that we're disciples of Christ because of this fellowship, because of this love we have between each other.
We're a living example of what it means to be reconciled to one another.
And so just living together interracially is part of this picture of the kingdom, the kingdom that has every tribe, tongue, and nation.
I had this inkling of what I thought it could be. And oh my goodness, it became something even greater than I could have expected or even asked for.